We know that this is a deeply personal thing for you, so we really appreciate you coming and speaking to us today. So how much contact did you have with Michael then as a child?
I mean, the first time I actually met Michael, I was 12, and every time he came to London, he'd just phone my dad and say, come up with the kids. People have this, you know, persona of him, this eccentric man, and to be honest, behind closed doors, he's so down to earth, he's so genuine, he's so loving and caring, and he's a big family man.
Right. And were you friends with his children, with Paris?
Of course, yes, definitely.
Yeah. And
So,
have you... Go on, Jane, yeah.
I mean, you say he was very down to earth and whatever, but, you know, as we know, not even just this documentary, but before that there have been sort of accusations that have kind of dogged his life. Why do you think that is? What do you think that there's all of that smoke without any fire at all? Or do you think it was a naivety on his part?
I do believe, you know, Michael is, in his mind, he's got a very innocent mind, and I can only talk about, you know, my experiences and how, you know, me and my family growing up with him. I can only, you know, talk about how I felt with him.
Did you watch the documentary Leaving Neverland?
No, I haven't watched it.
Why not?
I don't really feel like I need to.
I mean, it's such a difficult area, isn't it? I mean, none of us actually know, and of course Michael Jackson is no longer with us, as many people have pointed out. But I mean, if we think more generally about child sex abuse, one of the things that victims of child sex abuse will often say is that they don't get believed. And that's often why they don't speak out, because people don't want to hear their story. And I suppose what that documentary was these two guys telling their story. And I mean, of course, we know the Jackson family utterly deny all the claims, all the allegations they always have. But wouldn't you're not interested to hear their story?
I mean, again, like I said, that, you know, the man that they're describing in the allegations, it's not the man that I knew, it's not, you know, my godfather.
Do you appreciate that somebody else might have their truth, you know, their version of their relationship with him that could be very, very different?
Yeah, of course.
Did any part of you, I mean, I suppose if you think of somebody that wasn't famous, say somebody in your, you know, your village, your street, that had, you know, night after night, children staying with them and staying in their bed and all this stuff that we hear about, would you think that was odd?
Of course. In this day and age, you know, an adult sharing a bed with a child, it is, you know, you would look at it and think there is something wrong with it. But the problem with Michael is because in his mind he was innocent. He was like a child. So to him it would be nothing more than, you know, two children having a sleepover. And I think the fact that he was very open and honest about it showed that there was no, you know, there was no malicious intent behind it.
Did he ever talk about it? Did he ever talk about, was there confusion from him as to why people would think that there was anything untoward about what he did?
I just don't think, because he never saw it in that way.
Do you think that it's monetary why people are making accusations against him? Or, you know, where do you think it's coming from? Is it to get money from his estate, or...?
I do think that there is a monetary, you know, game behind it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my personal view, I have seen the documentary, and what I take from it is I think what triggered them to come forward was that they had children of their own. I think that they felt that Michael loved them, and then they had children of their own, and they realised that that isn't the kind of love that you show a child. But kind of moving on from that, because I know that you have your opinion, and that's absolutely fine. Tell us about what people now, how they react when they learn that Michael Jackson is your, or was your godfather. Still is, I suppose.
Yeah. It kind of goes one of two ways. Either they're, you know, that's amazing, or the other, you know, side of it is I have had a lot of abuse of people that, you know, obviously believe the allegations. So that's quite hard, especially, especially when, you know, these people that have never met him, they've never spent time with him. So obviously, I feel like I have to spend a lot of the time, you know, defending him to people that never knew him.
And are you still close with Paris and these other two children?
No, we lost touch after Michael passed away, and I would love to see not just Paris, all of the children. You know, so much has happened in the last 10 years. But you know, obviously, the family. I understand completely. The family wanted to shelter them.
There was some suggestion that your dad was actually her dad.
Yes, Michael will always be her dad. You know, biologically or not, Michael raised her, loved her, and that's all that really matters.
Okay. Lucy, thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming here today. Lucy Lester, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.